What's going on, guys, and welcome to my first video ever. And today we are going to make a reaction video to not the anime man, sorry guys, to Gigguk. And the video that we are going to react is the greatest thing anime have done. So without further ado, guys, let's jump straight into it. Here are the video, and basically, guys, this is a VLC player. As you guys can see, nothing pops out from the bottom. This is a VLC player, and actually I downloaded this video because I don't want any loading to come in. Sorry, that actually yeah, it's actually okay. So without further ado, let's play this video and react it to it. Even though I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna react fully in this video. Well, I know that. Let's play the video, not music, video.
Do you remember that first ever time you truly felt a connection to something in an anime? Was it a whole show, a character, a scene, or perhaps it was just a single line? One moment I remember vividly was when my grandmother passed away. It was the first time in my life I really had to grieve, and there were so many emotions I didn't quite know how to process it all. It was then, a few months later, that I got to see Summer Wars for the first time, and it was only then that it truly hit me.
Okay, first of all, guys, I never ever watched Summer War. I never even know that Summer War exists, because Summer War is actually based, what you guys going to hear from Gigguk himself. Well, it's basically like a huge family gathering up in one house, try to cheer up their grandma, and I don't know about that, but I never watched it. So leave you guys comment below if this anime is actually great and is suitable for me to watch. Yeah, let's continue it.
Seeing the way this enormous family functioned together, laughed together, cried together under the caring watch of a loving grandma was such an eerie reflection of my family that I held dear. It resonated with me so deeply that it actually brought out the emotions I didn't quite
Actually, about that part, let me
cried together under the caring watch of a loving grandma was such an eerie reflection of my family that I held dear. It resonated with me.
Okay, actually, this part is kind of similar to me. Like this grandma is like my grandma, and this is me, where I always ride beside my grandma when I was with her at that time. But right now, guys, my grandma have passed away, so yeah, and I'm not gonna feel that anymore. But yeah, I still feel sad for my grandma.
So deeply that it actually brought out the emotions I didn't quite know how to process before. That was the moment for me. The moment when you weren't just watching someone else's story on screen, you were living it. You had lived it. You wanted to live it. Part of it resonated with the fibre of your being, and for a moment you felt a personal connection, not to some person, but something intangible that you were watching. After I felt that for the first time, anime ceased being something that could just entertain me, but something that could also connect with me on an unspoken level that no person had ever done before.
Okay, probably it's going to say to me, Kai, have you ever watched this anime? Yep, I have watched it, and while it was like first time upload, sorry, not up, yeah, first time upload in some of the websites that I check out, I watch it like raw. It doesn't have subtitle at all. I watch it. I want to try to understand the story. Um, Even though I do not know what they say, but my heart's telling me that this girl is actually falling in love with the guy on the bike that that is going to be pop up right after I click this play the play button. Sorry, again, tongue twister again. La, 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 la. Okay, so when I was watching Koi no Katachi, as I say, I know this anime, Koi no Katachi or the Silent Voice. Um, it's actually really connected to me, and it's actually kind of fun to watch anime that related to us. For example, you guys have been found your related anime yet, but for me, I have found a bunch of anime that I have watched and that related to me. And anime actually have changed me. Now hold on, let me just change the angle here. Okay, anime has changed me a lot, guys. After the first anime that I ever watched was Angel Beats. That was my friend recommend, and after that Tokyo Ghoul. And after Tokyo Ghoul, guys, there's a lot of more anime I started to watch after that. Some of it was from my friend recommendation, some of it from Giga, thanks to that guy, and also the Anime Man. Some of it are from them, and starting from that, I make a Instagram and I follow a lot of like anime fan art, anime groups. Like in Facebook, I follow some anime groups, and basically inside there, they always upload some new anime every time. The anime that I never watched before, they upload a new anime. Some of it was spoiler, but I ignore that. But hey, it's kind of fun to watch um, the anime that related to us. Okay, I talk too much. Let's just jump straight to it.
What got me
This is the
thinking about
guy.
this recently was when I got to see A Silent Voice in cinemas, which I absolutely adored. It's rare to see something that feels so intimate and familiar, yet tackling very difficult issues in such a grounded and personal fashion. Suicide, social anxiety.
When I was watching it, okay, sorry guys, sorry about pausing the video again. So when I was watching the anime, this is the part where I cry when I forgot his name. Probably it's going to be a pair of this. Let me just that's let me just
Bullying, disabilities, depression, none of these are played as anything overly dark, dramatic, or tragic. It's just portrayed as real,
okay.
which they
Sorry,
are.
sorry, pausing.
As while touching on these tough themes, it manages to convey some of the most tender, heartwarming moments in life you get from finding a close friendship and reconnecting with people from your past. Because that's just the way life is. Some days are fine, some days are not, and there's no on or off switch for these kinds of things. You don't have to experience a tragic loss to feel like your world is falling apart. You don't have to be in the middle of an epic story to feel like life is crashing at your feet. Sometimes you wear a mask because you're not ready to let the world know that you're not doing okay, and the people in your life who can seem the most fine are sometimes the furthest thing from it. It was such a raw, delicate depiction of the most joyful and cruelest moments a person can go through. And the amazing thing I felt while watching this film is that you realise the smallest tragedies can come if you just let life play itself out. Seeing something like this always leaves me feeling warm, even if the topics explored weren't exactly pleasant. It's like a cathartic realization that someone else out there gets
Okay.
it, gets you, and it doesn't have to be.
Okay, that's not the guy's name. That's the girl name actually. Shoko Nishimiya or Nishimiya Shoko. I don't know how am I supposed to pronounce it. Um, yeah, Silent Voice. The first anime that actually really connected to me. When the first time that I watched Koi no Katachi, actually my friends tell me that Koi no Katachi is going to be released. I don't want I never watched the manga before, but I kind of hopefully that I will watch it later on in the future probably. But Koi no Katachi, guys, is a really good anime movie that I should say. And if you guys want to watch some anime movie, I highly recommend you guys watch Koi no Katachi, because Koi no Katachi, guys, is really good and it makes me sad every time I watch it. So yeah, while you guys are watching that, you guys can see that this guy over here, which I don't know who the hell is his name is, like ignore everyone by closing his ear. Same as me, I ignore everyone, but not close my ear. I actually put headphone in, ignore that voice that just coming out of nowhere. Yep, ignore that. So I ignore everyone by just plugging earphone to my ear plug it to my phone, turn on the music, turn the volume almost max because if I put it really straight up until the max, my ear is going to explode. But yeah, I try to ignore them by watching or not just watching, hear some music. That's how I ignore everyone. But after that, I starting to accept some of the people, like what this guy is going to
Any
do.
big emotional moment. Sometimes it's just a mood, an atmosphere that has a familiar scent to it. I left the movie with this heartfelt nostalgic feeling, like coming home after a long trip and
Boku dake ga Itaimachi, the anime that me and my friend watch at school. The first episode that my friend let me watch was actually kind of, for me, it was like, what is this about? But after watching it for myself until the end of the anime, now I knew that this girl that we are watching right now, that I post the video of, is going to is dead when the first anime in the first episode that we watch. So after I watched that anime, it's kind of like not like what I think that anime is, but it's actually kind of sad to see some people dead in anime. But yeah, let's just jump straight.
tasting mum's home cooking for the first time in forever. It's this feeling, this connection that I managed to experience more so in anime than I do anywhere else. And it's not just the shows or movies that come out, but also the people surrounding it. I can't tell you the amount of times I've met a person in this community who deals with similar issues that these characters have to live with on a daily basis. No, it's not always dramatic, and no, it's not always the people you think it's going to be, but it is always so very real. And you'd be surprised how a medium can attract so many people with similar issues, thought processes, and experiences growing up that goes beyond just a general interest of animation that comes from Japan. It's like there is something quite different about anime that's hard to put into words, but its appeal manages to attract certain people, and while I can't put down exactly what this is in a few sentences, I will say that no matter how different our tastes are, or varied we are as people, in order to like and appreciate some of the stuff we see coming out of this medium, we all have to be at least a little bit weird, whatever that means. If someone were to ask me what my ultimate goals are with the videos I put out, people may think it's to entertain or to be funny, but in all honesty, it's to connect. Connect with a friend, connect with a stranger, connect with someone I know, connect with someone I want to know, connect with all sorts of people from all walks of life in places I would never be able to reach in my lifetime. Connect with you, and sometimes even connect with myself. Because that's the biggest thing that draws me to anime. Of course, when I talk about a connection, it's not always something you can relate to. A series can just as easily speak to the person you want to be, rather than the person you are now. Put thoughts you've had on screen that you can never quite vocalize correctly, or taken a subject and made you think about it in a totally different light. How many people have related to the mental anguish of the Evangelion cast? How many have been inspired by Simone's actions on his hero's journey, or gotten lost in the world of a Ghibli film? The worst thing is, if we were to admit how intimately we hold some of these moments, some people's first reaction would be to ridicule, like being real is a weakness that makes you an easy target. How stupid is it for these dumb cartoons to actually have a personal effect on our lives? How sad and detached from reality we must be. But that's just it. Some of us wanted that brief break from reality, and there's nothing wrong in that. We built walls to protect ourselves from getting hurt, shut the gate and threw away the key because it's safer to stay closed, protected from the cruel words of a fellow human being. But that's why it was easier to connect to a story or a character or an idea, even if it's cheesy and childlike. I always thought it was embarrassing when I looked back at my teenage self, connected to a character like Naruto in a simple adolescence when I could cheer for the underdog because we saw ourselves as the quiet underdog. But now he's not just a character who was there when I was a kid, but a character I've actually grown up with. And as we grew older and learned that the world wasn't just a simple battle of good and evil, geniuses versus hard workers, I never stopped yearning for this same connection I felt as a kid. The more people I've met in this community, the more I've realized that we've all found something that resonated on a deep personal level, and in doing so, it's given us an opportunity to connect with each other, which I couldn't be more thankful for now that I found the friends I never did in my teenage years, when these animations were my closest connection. We complain and joke about the common trends and cliche we see all the times, but if you stop and think about it, this is one of the most varied mediums out there, which is why if anyone explores it enough, they are sure to find something that speaks to them.
I'm sorry, not talking
there are
so
the
much.
grand epic stories and bombastic gripping shows that grab the spotlight, but there are also very personal tales and crazy artistic ideas being thrown around. I mean, where else can you say in one season you could be watching a show about gay ice skaters, our historic royal battle, witches in World War II, butt wrestling, and a down-to-earth drama about dictionary making?
Some of this anime I don't ever watch.
It's not always about writing the perfect story or getting critical recognition. Everything has its own voice, its own story to tell, which could easily say something to you. Because it's easy to forget that behind the screen, behind every screen, isn't a callous machine producing stories, producing animation, producing content, but it's a person. Someone with their own thoughts, ideas and emotions they want to express. Like you. Like me. So look, if I had to sum up whatever points I was trying to make, we all go through this strange love-hate relationship with anime as fans, but beyond that, anime hasn't only been there as entertainment. It's given me the friends I could never find growing up, kept me company when I needed a distraction from life, guided me through some of my hardest times, resonated with all sorts of aspects of myself, brought a community together that I genuinely love, and it continually gives me the chance to meet and connect with new and amazing people that I never would have met otherwise. And when I think about it like that, it's quite amazing really, and I hope to God it's done something similar for you too, as you shouldn't be ashamed to admit that. Because, for me at least, that really is
the greatest thing anime have done. Well, that's all of it, guys. It's kinda great to watch all this. If you guys want to watch it yourself without my voice in it, then be sure to click the link in the description, guys, so you guys can watch it. Oh yeah, and the perfect anime, actually I also have that, but I'm gonna do that in my second video, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, guys. Be sure to hit the like button, and yeah, guys, it's kind of been long for me. I've been recording for 20 minutes now, even though it's short. But while I'm talking and the video was starting, the video is actually 9 minutes long. Is it 9 minutes? I'm pretty sure it's longer than that. It's actually 9 minutes and 40 seconds long. Cut the ending. Oh yeah, and subscribe and support to Gigguk. Go to his channel and subscribe to him. And if you guys watching his latest video, just leave a comment below and say Carol. Tell Gigguk that Carl sent you guys. Okay. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, guys. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, guys, and leave a comment below what you guys think about my reaction to this. Even though I don't have like surprise or cry, I almost cried in this video, guys. And if you guys want me to make some more like anime reaction from Gigguk, or not just Gigguk, probably from the anime man himself. What am I even? Okay, never mind. Probably I'm going to think about it later on, guys. Just leave a comment below, and you guys can give me a question if you guys want to also, and probably I'm going to answer you guys' question in the future video. So yeah, guys, that's all, and I'll talk to you guys later.